Welcome to Most Loved Wrestling, the place where wrestling is most loved. Last week, the Women's Intercontinental Championship was announced to us, and with it, a tournament to crown the inaugural champion. Usually, I'd make a top 10 of superstars that I think are most likely to be that person, but let's face it, my ass is way too late. We already seen the tournament bracket, so unless we get another Jade Cargill situation, we only got 10 superstars which have a 10% chance of making history. That means 10 superstars that we can have fun with. And by fun, I mean predicting the rest of the Intercontinental Championship tournament. But before we get into this, put a like on this video, subscribe to my bullshit, and hit the notification bell. It helps with the algorithm. So if you like what I'm doing and believe that the world deserves to bear witness, then this is how you can make it happen. Now, I just wanted to say a couple of things that bothered me as soon as these brackets were released. There is no Io Sky and no Sonya Deville. So Io, I can kind of understand to a degree. She's the #1 contender to the world title at Saturday night's main event. You wouldn't want to advertise her as part of this tournament, because that means you're telling us she's getting smoked. But Io is just what we need in an inaugural champion, especially to live up to the legacy of the Intercontinental Championship in namesake. First off, she's ridiculous in the ring, she's more than reliable, she's highly recognized in the world of wrestling, not to mention respected, and could strongly benefit from some gold right now. Now Sonya Deville, she's the leader of the PFC, that's the Pure Fusion Collective. We are trying to get that faction over, trying to take them seriously, trying to present them as a threat to the entire women's division, right? So nothing says threat, serious, or maybe you should be fans of these broads more than championship gold. And if I'm being personal, as individuals, I'm a fan of all three members. I think Zoe Stark is underrated, I think Shayna is underutilized, and I think Sonya has mad potential. We just gotta start booking them like we got some goddamn sense. Okay, so now into the tournament. As I said, we are late. The first match of the bracket has already concluded, and I was not disappointed. No, actually, we was not disappointed. Yep, that's right. I'm dictating which wrestlers you support, and you're gonna do two things: nothing and like it. Yeah. So we was not disappointed because it was only Dakota Kai who gave out some piping hot arse whoopings to advance. Next week on Raw, the next bout is going to be between Lyra Valkyria, Zelina Vega, and Ivy Nile. Now this is a good match, a very good match. I like all the superstars in it, so who do I want to win? No offense, but not Ivy Nile. Love her as a talent, don't get me wrong, but she is in there with Zelina Vega and Lyra Valkyria, and I don't think I'm alone with that one. With that being said, it really burned me to look at this bracket and see Lyra and Zelina in the same match. But that's how it goes sometimes. Zelina, she has been on a roll lately and she has momentum, but so does Lyra, and she's been well protected and well presented from day one on the main roster, whilst Ivy now hasn't had neither of those liberties. She hasn't been booked weak, that's for certain, but she isn't riding any momentum to where I would take her seriously as a threat to the Intercontinental Championship. However, she is a part of American Made, a group that, like I said about Sonya earlier, needs some juice to make us take them seriously. Plus, imagine Master Gable's reaction if she advanced. But here's the thing, American Made are beefing with the LWO, Zelina Vega's faction. So I can imagine the two of them getting so caught up in one another and diverting their attention from Lyra, and she's too damn good to not pay attention to, and I think it will cost them, resulting in Lyra advancing. Next is Zoe Stark, Raquel Rodriguez, and Kaden Carter. Alright, I'm sorry, but let's be honest, this ain't fucking 2K24 Universe mode, bruv. Kaden Carter ain't winning. Don't show this to Damian Priest, but she ain't winning. Let's move on. So it's down to Raquel and Zoe. Now, I watched Raw this week. Shit was good, and I saw what happened. I saw Rhea Ripley's eye get slammed into the announce table. And if we know Rhea Ripley, which at this point we all do, she ain't gonna eat, sleep, or take a shit until she gets her lick back. Then you add in the fact that she would be taking away her championship aspirations, something that Raquel done to her at Bad Blood. On top of that, it's a triple threat. It's gonna be no disqualification. She can just come and go as she pleases. Plus, Liv Morgan is guaranteed to make her presence felt, which means Rhea has about 4 or 5 good reasons to pull up. This has me thinking it's probably in their best interest to try and game end Rhea in their one-on-one match next week. That's if she has dreams of the Intercontinental Championship anyway. And I'm being for real, but all this information tells me clearly that it's going to be one of the most underrated superstars on the roster, Zoe Stark, to advance. And finally, the last match of the first round, Alba Fire versus Kairi Sane versus Natalya. Now I'm going to be controversial, and I mean no disrespect. After all, All three of these girls hold more talent in their toenail than I do in my entire body. But as a wrestling fan, I don't give a fuck about one of these women as singles talent. At least right now, that is. Because if we're being honest, Alba Fyre is a wrestling machine. My brother, go and watch her in NXT UK if you haven't seen her as a singles competitor before. She was cooking. And I wouldn't be mad if they wanted to repeat that in front of a larger audience with the Intercontinental Championship. Kyrie, she fits the exact same description, aside from the NXT UK part. It's just that right now, she has zero momentum, is the weakest member of Damage Control, needs Asuka to be relevant, and is being used as a glorified punching bag. And I want to cry from saying all of that, but it is what it is. And don't forget about Natalya. Her career has been stop, start for what feels like about 50 years. And Prime Natalya was a ring general, if I'm allowed to say that. Now, I don't know if she could have returned to her old form. Hell, if I'm to be true, I don't even know if she lost a step. I'm just having to assume, because I've just stopped paying attention to what she does. But here's the thing, if this was a top 10 video, Natalya would definitely be my top 5 to become the inaugural champ. Because 1, she deserves proper representation, not only for her body of work, but for her family name. Yep, nepotism exists, get over it. And 2, deep down, I'm still a fan. I think if they wanted to give Natty some respect and a last hurrah at a championship, now is the time. And I think they will see it that way and book her to advance. Now, that's all the first round matches out of the way, and we are off to the semi-finals. First up, Dakota Kai versus Zoe Stark. As we spoke about already, Zoe Stark is part of PFC, the group responsible for shelving Dakota Kai in the first place, and she ain't really got opportunity to get it back in blood yet, so this would be a perfect chance. No doubt they will find themselves at ringside at some point, but you know Dakota has a click which will neutralize them. Plus they've been fighting from day one, so it ain't nothing new to any of them. I feel like Dakota has a lot more to offer the fans right now than Zoe Stark does. You man all know that Dakota needs a chance at some success, as long as she can stay healthy. And whilst I firmly believe that Zoe is the most underrated female superstar on the main roster, I just see it as Dakota's time to shine right now. Meanwhile, Zoe is a secondary or potentially even a tertiary character, so I'm picking Dakota to advance to the finals. Moving on to Lyra Valkyria versus Natalya. Now, I don't even know how to dress this up, but I'm gonna try. So I explained what I think about Natalya already. I spoke about where she stands in the division and what the Intercontinental Championship would mean to her legacy and what she could mean to it. But here's the thing, Lyra is young, she is hungry, and she has got a shitload of talent. So does the veteran making a last stand turn back the young, hungry lion? On this occasion, I don't think so. Lyra came so close to winning Queen of the Ring in her rookie year. She knows what it takes to get to the finish, and she has had a little taste of that finals competition. And this time, I think she plans on going all the way. And here we are, the finals, to crown the very first Intercontinental Champion, an accolade that they can never take from you. It is Dakota Kai versus Lyra Valkyria. Now, if this was how it was to go, I am not going to be able to watch. I'll be too torn. I love Lyra more than I love myself, and I just want Dakota Kai to get everything she deserves and then some. It's crazy. Now, what is more important? Bringing championship gold to Damage Control and re-establishing a foothold on the locker room and giving Dakota a crowning moment, or is it to establish the Intercontinental Championship as a title for 5-star match machines, allowing redemption for Lyra's failure at Queen of the Ring, and showcasing to the people that ain't fans of NXT just how much of a different breed Lyra truly is? If you're asking me, which if you click this video and watch this far, you obviously are, it's more important to do the latter. It's kind of make or break for Lyra, because they have booked her so strong and made her start off so fast that to put her in another one of these situations just to make her come up short would be bad for her brand. She has to get the W if she was to come this far. So I predict Lyra Valkyria to go all the way, win the tournament, and be crowned as the first ever Women's Intercontinental Champion. And if it goes like this, I am a fucking legend. But I want to hear from the people. Tell me if you disagree or agree with my predictions. Let me know who you think will go all the way, or even just go further than I anticipated them. And that's all I got for you today. Thank you for listening to my bullshit. Don't forget to leave a like, remember to subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comment section down below.